For our headline sponsor, we have RMG Ghana Limited, and our gold sponsor is Big Stationery Ghana. For exciting updates on the National Core Subjects Quiz, just follow us on all social media platforms. On YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, you can just search National Core Subjects Quiz, and you see videos, pictures, and everything that has to do with the National Core Subjects Quiz, right from the beginning up until now. Okay. So for today's contest, I have 2 ladies and 2 guys. So I believe this will be a very, very interesting one. I'll begin with the ladies. You introduce yourselves, tell me the school you are from.
I'm here today in MAMFE Apostolic School Complex.
I'm Samari Sosania, representing MAMFE Apostolic School Complex. We have Emanuela and Eunice, E&E, from MAMFE Apostolic School Complex. So you said complex, am I right? Complex or complex? Which one are we looking for? Okay. And to the gentleman.
I'm a Samuel Gideon, a JHS student of Mystical Center.
Okay.
John Wanda from Mystical Center.
Israel Wonder and Gideon. Your name is very interesting. Israel Wonder. I'm tempted to ask. No, let me ask. Why the name Israel Wonder? What does it mean?
I'm not very sure. I've been getting different answers from my parents.
What does that mean?
Israel means God's people, and wonder is wonder.
Okay, so Israel Wonder and Gideon. Okay. From Mystical Rose Academy and MAMFE Apostolic School Complex. Okay. And I am now Aika Table, your quiz mistress. MAMFE Apostolic School Complex, E&E. Tell us about your school.
The name of our school is MAMFE Apostolic School Complex, and it is located in the eastern region of Ghana. Our motto is Studious and Diligence.
Studious
and Diligence.
And Diligence. Okay, Studious and Diligence. Mystical Rose Academy. Tell us about your school.
Mystical Rose is located at Sotu, Ghanaian. The school was established on the 9th September 2001 by Professor Peter Sumonti and Mrs. Mary Duffy Sumonti. The motto of our school is Education with Difference.
Education
with Difference.
With Difference. Wow. Education with Difference, Studious and Diligence. Thank you very much, Mrs. For today's contest, there will be 4 rounds. The first round, you have questions on English language and social studies. For the second round, there will be questions on general knowledge. For the third round, we'll have swift response as well as odd select. And for the fourth and final round, we'll have our logical illustrations as well as verbal puzzles. For a major question, you have 15 seconds to provide your answer. 15 seconds. However, if it's a bonus, you have only 5 seconds. Only 5 seconds. Now, for the major question, within the 15 seconds, you have 3 attempts. 3 attempts. And for a bonus, it's just 1 attempt. Are we clear with that? Ladies and gentlemen, are we clear with that? I'll begin with the ladies. The drying leaves are begging for water. What literary device can be found in this statement?
Personification.
Personification. Mr. Calrose, what literary device can be found in the statement? Bumbling ball blew a chance at batting baseballs with Braves players.
Alliteration.
Alliteration, that's correct. So to both schools, you have to give me the question tag for the statement. The question tag. MAMFE Apostolic. Kumasi is the capital of the Ashanti region.
Isn't it?
Isn't it? Mr. Calrose. John and John aren't good friends.
Are they?
Are they? That's right. MAMFE Apostolic. The most southern point of Ghana is. A bonus to Mr. Calrose.
Peter.
No. Audience, what is the most southern point of Ghana?
Cape 3 Point.
Cape 3 Points, that's right. Mr. Calrose, your major question. The largest man-made lake in Africa is. A bonus to MAMFE Apostolic. The largest man-made lake in Africa is Lake Volta. Lake Volta. This brings us to the end of the first round. At the end of round one, we have a tie between both schools. MAMFE Apostolic School and Mr. Calrose Academy both have 6 points. Move on to round two. This time I'll begin with the gentleman. In which town is bauxite mined?
Isuta.
No.
Maku.
No. A bonus to MAMFE Apostolic. No. Audience, can anyone help us out?
Awaso.
So that's correct. MAMFE Apostolic. Which town is associated with the mining of manganese?
Obuasi.
No.
Abetia.
No.
Awas.
No. Please have your 3 attempts. Mr. Calrose, a bonus.
Isuta.
Isuta, that's right. Mr. Calrose, your major question. How did the Ashanti come under British colonial rule?
They fought the Saranti War and the British conquered them.
Come again.
True war. Through the Saranti War.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. The answer I'm looking for is by military conquest or force. MAMFE Apostolic. The poll to determine whether Togoland should join Ghana or not was known as
Equator.
no.
Longitude.
No. A bonus to Mr. Calrose. The answer is plebiscite. Plebiscite. Mr. Calrose, your question. or practice of preparing and dispensing of medicinal drugs is known as?
Medicine.
No.
Pharmacy.
Pharmacy, that's right. MAMFE Apostolic. The scientific study of the behavior, structure, physiology, classification and distribution of animals is known as?
Psychology.
No.
Zoology.
No.
Physics.
No. You've used up your 3 attempts. A bonus to Mr.
Biology.
No. The answer is zoology. Zoology. Now, both schools, please listen. I'll mention a country and you have to give me the currency they use. I'll mention a country and you give me the currency they use. Mr. Carl Rose, Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe dollar.
That's right. MAMFE Apostolic, South Africa.
Cities.
No. A bonus to Mr. Carlos.
Ghana.
No. South Africa uses the South African Rand. The South African Rand. This brings us to the end of the second round. At the end of the second round, MAMFE Apostolic School Complex had no points. And Mr. Carl Rose Academy had 9 points. So we go on to the third round, which is in 2 parts. We have the swift response and odd select. We'll begin with swift response. Now for the swift response, you have 10 seconds to solve and provide your answer. 10 seconds, so you need to be very fast. If there's a bonus, you have only 3 seconds. 3 seconds. So we begin. I'll start with MAMFE Apostolic. A body of mass, 100 kilograms, is placed at a point 2 meters above the ground. What is the potential energy of the body with reference to the ground? Take acceleration due to gravity to be 10 meters per second squared.
500 kilograms.
A bonus to Mr. Carlos.
2,000 joules.
2,000 joules. Your major question, Mr. Carlos. A body of mass, 50 kilograms, is placed at a point 2 meters above the ground. What is the potential energy of the body with reference to the ground if acceleration due to gravity is 10 meters per second squared?
1,000 joules.
1,000 joules. So preamble to both schools. You have to simplify the following. Simplify the following. MAMFE Apostolic. X squared minus 18x plus 11. A bonus to Mr. Carlos.
Squared minus 18x plus 11.
No. The answer is x minus 2 in a bracket and x minus 9 in another bracket. Or you can change it. You can have x minus 9 in one bracket, x minus 2 in another bracket. Mr. Carlos, you also simplify y squared minus 15x plus 8. A bonus to MAMFE Apostolic.
Y squared minus 15x plus 8.
No. The answer is y minus 3 in a bracket and y minus 5 in another bracket. You can also exchange it, so you can have y minus 5 in one bracket or y minus 3. This brings us to the end of the first part of the third round. We move on to the odd select. Odd select. Now for this, I'll give you a list of words. You have to pick the odd one out and tell me the reason why it's odd. You pick the odd one out and tell me the reason why it's odd. If you're able to tell me just the odd one out, you get 1 point. If you're able to add your reason, you get your full point. Are we clear? MAMFE APOSTOLIC, these are your words. Pancreas, urethra, colon, stomach.
Urethra. It's because it's not part of the digestive system.
That's right. Mystical rules, these are your words. Prostate, scrotum, fallopian tube, epididymis.
Fallopian tube, because it's not part of the male reproductive system.
That's right. This brings us to the end of round 3. The third edition of the National Core Subjects Quiz is sponsored by RMG Ghana Limited, and our gold sponsor is Big Stationery Ghana. At the end of round 3, MAMFE Apostolic School Complex had 3 points. And Mystical Rose Academy had 7 points. We move on to the first part of the final round. That is the logical illustration. Contestants, for this part, you have 5 minutes to solve and present your answer. 5 minutes. So I'll give you your questions, I'll read it out, and then you start after I have asked you to start. Contestants, come for the question. So don't start until I ask you to. Don't start until I ask you to. A logical illustration for today. 1. 1/4 of a number is added to 1/5 of the same number. If the outcome is 18, find the number. 2. A ribbon of length 3 meters is to be cut into strips of length 14 centimeters. How many strips of length 14 centimeters were cut? And what length of ribbon remained? 3. Simplify. 2 whole number 3/4 divided by 3 whole number 3/8 minus 1 whole number 1/12 in brackets. Do we all have the same thing? MAMFE Apostolic, do we have the same thing? Okay. You have 5 minutes, you can start. Contestants, you have a minute more. Alright, contestants, time is up. Please hand in your answers. Time is up. Time is up. Contestants, please present your answers on the board, just as you have to paper. So for updates about the National Core Subjects Quiz, Follow us on all social media platforms, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search National Core Subjects Quiz and you'll see videos and pictures of all our contests right from the beginning up until now. For our logical illustration for today, this is my solution. For the first part, 1/4 of a number is added to 1/5 of the same number. If the outcome is 18, what is the number? So first of all, we use a variable to represent the number we are to find. So we say let the number be x. Then we'll have 1/4 of the number. That will be 1/4 times x plus 1/5 times x, or 1/4x plus 1/5x is equal to 18. That's the outcome of the number. We can multiply through by 20, that's the LCM, and this will give us 20 times 1/4x plus 20 times 1/5x is equal to 20 times 18. This will give us 5x plus 4x is equal to 360. Adding 5x and 4x, we'll have 9x to be equal to 360. Dividing both sides by 9, we'll have x to be equal to 40. Or, we can decide to find the LCM of the fractions, that's the first part. So we'll have our LCM to be 20, and we'll have 5x plus 4x all over 20 is equal to 18. This will give us 9x over 20 is equal to 18. Then we'll have, moving 20 to the other side of the equal to sign, we'll have 9x to be equal to 18 plus 20. This will give us 9x is equal to 360. Dividing both sides by 9, we'll have x to be equal to 360 over 9, and our final answer will be 40. For the second part of the question, a ribbon of length 3 meters is to be cut into strips of length 14 centimeters. First of all, we change 3 meters to centimeters. So if 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, then 3 meters is equal to 300 centimeters. So to find the number of strips from the length that we cut, we'll have 300 over 14. And our answer will be 21 whole number 3 over 7, or 21.43. So if you are to round this up, this will give us 21 strips. Therefore, 21 strips of length 14 centimeters were cut. Now for the next part of this question, the length of the ribbon that remains. We'll have our total length, that's 300 centimeters, subtracted by the strips multiplied by the centimeter for each strip. So we'll have 21 times 14 centimeters. This will give us 294 centimeters. So we'll have 300 centimeters minus 294 centimeters. And our answer will be 6 centimeters. So the length of the ribbon that remained was 6 centimeters. And simplifying our mixed fractions, 2 whole number 3 over 4. In converting to an improper fraction will give us 11 over 4, divided by 3 whole number 3 over 8. Converting 3 whole number 3 over 8 to an improper fraction, we'll have 27 over 8, minus 1 whole number 1 over 12. Converting this, we have 13 over 12. Then, solving the brackets first, we find our LCM, 24. So we have 11 over 4 divided by 81 minus 26 over 24. This will give us 11 over 4 divided by 55 over 24. In changing the division sign to multiplication, we'll have 11 over 4 multiplied by 24 over 55. We reverse the fraction. And our final answer will be 6 out of 5. 6 out of 5. Since 6 out of 5 is an improper fraction, we can change it to a mixed fraction, and this will give us 1 whole number 1 over 5. Carl Rose Academy. They began with the first part of the question, and they tell us that let the number be x. So they have 1/4x plus 1/5x is equal to 18. They find their LCM and they multiply through both sides with the LCM, that's 20. So they're able to start rightly. However, I think they got confused at a point, so their final answer was 10, which is wrong. So I'll give them the mark for letting us know that the number to find will be x. They rightly added it and they found their LCM. So they get 3 points for that part of the question. Then they continued on to the third part of the question. They changed their mixed fractions to improper fractions. They score a point for that. And they find their LCM. But moving further, they changed my question for me. They have 11/14 instead of 11/4. So this gives them a wrong final answer. So they have 2 points for that part. And for the second part of the question, they tell us that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So for 3 meters, we have 300 centimeters. Then they begin their division, and they tell us that 21 strips of length 14 centimeters to be cut. So for that part of the question, that's where they ended. So they have 2 points. In total, they have 7 points. And MAMFE Apostolic, they were able to do just one part of the logical illustration. That's the third question. So they are able to change the mixed fractions to improper fractions. They get a mark for that. And from there, everything else is wrong. So in total, they score 1 point. We move on to the final part of this round, the verbal puzzles. Contestants in this round, you'll be using your bell. So when I read out the clues and you're ready to give your answer, you alert me by pressing your bell. So let's hear the bell from MAMFE Apostolic. Okay. And for Mr. Carl Rose. Let's hear the bell for Mr. Carl Rose. Okay. So if you're able to answer rightly on the first clue, you get 5 points. On the second clue, you get 4 points. And on the third and any other clue, you get 3 points. If you press your bell and you give me an incorrect answer, you're out. You can't continue answering. Are we clear? Okay. So I believe we can start. I begin with the verbal puzzles. When you step into the English language, you'll find me with literature. I am among the figures of speech. My services are often employed by poets. I was derived from a Latin term whose meaning is an acceptable person. I am the narrative voice within a poem. Who am I? Yes.
A poet.
No. MAMFE Apostolic.
Intonation.
No. Audience, who am I? I am the persona. Our final verbal puzzle. I am a subatomic particle. I move in a shell called an orbit. Yes, Mr. Electron, that's right. So the answer for the second clue, they get 4 points. This brings us to the end of round 4. 2019 edition of the National Core Subjects Quiz is powered by Verbal Transformers. At the end of round 4, MAMFE Apostolic School Complex had 1 point. And Mystical Rose Academy had 11 points. Before we give the final score for today, we'd like to acknowledge our sponsors, RMG Ghana Limited, headline sponsor, and Big Stationery Ghana, our gold sponsor. Contestants, before we get the final results, do you have anything you'd like to say to us? I'll begin with the ladies. Ladies first. So,
we thank the Almighty God for a successful quiz. In every quiz competition, there is a winner and a loser. But most importantly, we all learn from it. So today too, it has been successful and we have all learned from it. Thank you.
Thank you. Gentlemen, anything you have for us?
Today's quiz has been very, very interesting. We want to thank God for helping us.
And so in all things, we give thanks to God, and every day we are learning. To keep learning at every point in time, each and every single day, we learn. At the end of today's contest, MAMFE Apostolic School Complex had 10 points. And Mystical Rose Academy qualifies to the next round with 33 points. Congratulations, both schools, you've done really well. To MAMFE Apostolic, this shouldn't be the end. Keep learning, keep studying. We hope to see you again next year. And to Mr. Rose, congratulations. We'll see you at the next round of this competition. My name is Na Ayika Yetego, and I have been your quiz mistress. Thank you.